Should I get an intercooler for light track use? Stage 2 GTI. Hell yes.
Yeah.
Especially on track. So the stock intercooler is really designed, one, for stock power levels. But when you turn up the boost, you move your turbocharger into a different part of the flow efficiency map, which means that as your turbo produces more boost, it produces more heat, which is at a lower efficiency level. That heat your intercooler has to deal with. Now on the street, that heat can be dealt with pretty easily. If you're on the freeway and you blast around some car and you lift, your stock intercooler will absorb all that heat, and then it'll shed it relatively quickly because you're off boost and there's no additional heat coming in. On track, however, you are accelerating almost constantly for 30 minutes at a time. And so your stock intercooler will heat soak by turn 3 or 4, and then it'll just be heat soaked for the rest of the session. So what happens is your ECU starts pulling boost and timing to compensate for the hotter air coming in. You could easily observe this by logging air temp at the intake manifold or throttle body. You could log it through VACCOM or VCDS or whatever, and you could see your elevated intake air temp throughout the entire session. So an intercooler upgrade is needed anytime, not even on track, but anytime you want to accelerate more than 2 or 3 gears in a row, you're going to need an intercooler, especially when boost is turned up. I think the only time you wouldn't need one is if you were on stock power levels, and even I think then.
Well, even then it'll benefit. And this is one of those things that you're going to get a cooler running overall system. Whether
it's free power.
Whether it's
other than the cost of the intercooler, it's free.
Whether you're into a point of air temps where it's detrimental or damaging, that's not necessarily what your target wants to be on track. You don't want to run on the edge of a volatility. You want to have an optimized setup, delivering as efficient a power as you can.
Yeah.
And the cooler you can get the intake charge, the better.
The reason I say it's free power is, there is a virtually unlimited supply of ambient air at the racetrack for you to dump as much heat into as you can. Thankfully your car is producing little enough energy not to necessarily affect the global temperature of that area, but it is free. It's free cool air, and the closer your intake temps can get to the ambience, the better. So that's going to require intercooler upgrade. Of course, we recommend the racing line of intercoolers that we now carry.